Why don't I have any sound? Hello. Hello.
Sound
OBS?
settings right in the menu. You have the right sound device selected, and I'm seeing when I snap my fingers, it's showing on your meters.
It's interesting. I don't hear anything. Oh, I know why. There it is right there.
That's what I just asked, if the menu bar, if the right sound was selected. It's not good. There it is.
Well, well, well. I'm still getting.
It's a learning process.
Yes. And you are hearing Vincentius Primus. Hello, it's Ruslidian. It's an adventure. That's what it is. It's an adventure. Hey, it's live on YouTube. You can't say live on YouTube. It's Sunday City Sundays. Yes, I think I'll say that. Hello and welcome. This is Sunday City Sundays. I'm in the city of Omo. This is part 4. I will do the city of New Mombasa and the city of New Masekwe later in the day. What? What's happening?
Quick technical note.
What's going on?
Switch audio settings to whichever you use for the other stream that you're not using. So you have 2 audio settings, one for Twitch and one for Mixer.
Yes.
Whichever one it's set for now, set it for the other one. There's like a short echo.
Oh, okay. Hold on for a second. A short echo. What? There we go. A short echo there. So now it's set for mixer settings, which probably will take away the echo. And we'll see in
It's
just
still catching up.
Okay. All right. Vincentius Primus is helping me with this. So we will see in just a moment if that actually... Oop! No, I don't want... Oop! No, I don't want that. Is it still there?
Perfect now.
Okay. Hello.
Your sound is good too.
Hello to my constant viewer. Hello, hello, hello. It's nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Vincentius. Thank you for your help. I think you see people walking by because it is nighttime. I am going to go over to the ship, the colony ship, and take a nap because I want to do this in the daytime. So let's get started. This is Minecolonies 12. Hold on for a sec. And we're changing views. I'm going to walk. I'm actually going to walk over to the ship. Now the ship is in dry dock now because this is the colony ship that was originally used when the city was in survival, and this was where I came when I didn't go up to Cliff's Bottom to the tower we have here in the mountains. Let's just go to sleep here. So this is our, I'm saying our, because originally Vincentius Primus was with me when we started this mine colony, and this was where this was sort of like our semi-headquarters. Since I'm doing housing, actually, I should show you this because this is where I lived. Now this has been updated recently because the furniture changed out. I've been here for years. Their time, generations in Omo's timing, not in human timing, not in Earth timing. Let me go up to show you Cliff's Bottom. I'm going to Mary Poppins my way over to Cliff's Bottom. This is the other original housing. I'm showing you the housing for me first, which means traveling over the city for a moment and coming and landing on Cliff's Bottom's landing pad. And here we are looking out over the city. And this is where we lived when Vincentius Primus was here, which is part of the reason that all these machines are here. They were here to help with being able to get supplies, have supplies readily available to make the original mine colony. And this room has been updated a couple times because we changed to Chroma Hills about halfway through the year. We started this mine colony in February 2019, and about halfway through, I think I went to Chroma Hills, and which changed the way everything looked. So we changed a lot of the decorations and stuff. I still haven't done anything with the fact that this is raw stone, carved out of raw stone, and I kind of like keeping it that way for now. But we're going to go down to the location at least of the very first house. The very first house is not there anymore. It was moved, and I think I mentioned that last time, but the very first house sat right here on this spot. And the reason it did, right here on the spot that I'm standing on, the reason it did was because most of the life of the city revolved around the City Hall building, the warehouse. This was the warehouse, and still is, and the original colony ship. And so the very first houses and the first building hut, because you can't do anything unless you have a builder's hut. So the very first builder's hut was this builder's hut right here. And so the very first house was actually supposed to be a beach house. And this is desert. This is the beach in the desert. Like, what's Vegas? Vegas has that beautiful, beautiful lake area just outside of Vegas. And they have beaches. So this is a beach in the desert. And the very first house was a sandstone house that sat here. That sandstone house was moved to a new part of the beach when that part of the beach became industrial. We decided to have a seaport, and when we decided to have the seaport, we were going to tear this house down. And when I say we, I mean the city council of Omo was going to tear the house down, and the owner of the house, Jade, and her current chosen, Tiago, petitioned the city to move the house because it was a historical house, and the city agreed to move the house, except that the house outside could not be changed because it was a historical house. Unfortunately, the moving of the house changed the house. Originally, these doors were birch. All the flooring was birch in the house. But during the time of Omo, the city, the house actually got updated by Minecolonies developers to use cactus wood in the desert, and which I think is really beautiful. But what what I did was I did not change any of the walls in this house. So this is the original rooms, the way the new sandstone house looks in the desert. I did change the insides as far as the kitchen was concerned. They actually have a beautiful, what would you call it? You call it, no words this morning. You'd call it the original when it's Minecolonies. Vanilla Minecraft, thank you. Vanilla Minecraft kitchen, which is actually a really wonderful kitchen if you're in vanilla. But because I'm in Chroma Hills and have Mr. Crayfish Furniture Mod, which I love, I changed out the kitchen. You will see announcements every once in a while of the builders who are working on building projects, and we're just going to let them continue working on those. But this is sort of the family living area for this house. And then upstairs is the bedroom, which is actually open. This is the desert. They have a beautiful view of the harbor from here, and they are now in the resort area, so they have a view overlooking the resort, the beachfront, and the hotel. And their bedroom, this is the bedroom. I haven't changed where the table was in this room. They just had a table there, but I did change the chairs. Um, I don't think there were any. And up here, we did sort of leave it empty, just with Jade's flowers and her plantings. And this is their deck. So this was the very first house that was built in this mine colony. The second house that was built is actually now probably the most original of all the old houses. It is Curtis's house. Curtis is the, or I should say, yes, was the first delivery owner. He owned the first delivery shop. Whoa! Wow! Oh, that tower just got finished. See that stone tower there, made out of gray stone. Linda just finished building it. Excellent. And if you want to see me make this tower into a sandstone tower to match this sandstone tower, you can watch me during the week. I will probably start working on that on Monday. This tower, changing it to match this tower, because this is the Ranger Tower for this night tower. Thank you, Linda. So that's what she was working on, and that's what the fireworks were for. Look, it's Curtis. Curtis, we're going to look at your house. So Curtis's was the second house here on this land, in this mine colony, and it remained a level 1. This is a level 1 of the alternative wood houses in the mine colonies, developing what the developers made for mine colonies. And this house is still has its old torches on the outside. When Chroma Hills came in and we updated this house to give the patio a better look, to give them an open area here and to let them have a barbecue. We changed, of course, the original vanilla Minecraft, Mine Colonies table and chairs on the deck and gave them a nice Mr. Crayfish set of table and chairs. But Curtis is the delivery person. Let me do this. Oh, we're going to get a beautiful moonrise. There we go. I'm actually going to camp out on this lawn for a minute because I don't want to disturb Curtis while he's home and trying to get some rest, because he actually is home early. He usually gets home very late. So let's go to sleep. And we're going to wake up. Yeah, see, we're waking up in the daytime, and most of the people go to work. There's Jade. Go to work at sunrise. At least Curtis is awake now, and he will probably leave in a little bit. But this is Curtis's little tiny house. Curtis is one of the few singles. There he goes. Okay. He was still eating breakfast, I think. Curtis is one of the few singles that I have in Minecolonies, in the Minecolonies, what would you call it? Colonies in my 3 cities. I do have some single people, and he has been single the whole time. There was evidence for a while that he was in a relationship with Victoria Barstable, who is actually one of the teachers at the prep school. But he doesn't seem to be with anyone at this particular time. He hasn't shown any interest in anybody, but he has made his house really, really comfortable. And this was really fun to do. I liked actually making this house. We were able to use cork. Cork has paper walls, and those paper walls are wonderful to use, and we've been able to use some of those in this house and in many other houses in the city. So this is the second oldest house, and none of the other houses from the earlier time exist. There used to be on this spot a taiga house, and it was actually the third oldest house. And then when Alex used to live in the house with Fortune, and when William and Parnell needed a house, Alex actually built their house, and he was building the taiga house for them. That's right. He was building the taiga house for them, but he actually lived here in this house with Fortune for a time and then when the taiga house was built, the William and Parnell didn't like it, but Fortune loved it. So Fortune and Alex moved into the taiga house, and William and Parnell moved into this house. And excuse me for a moment. Sorry, I needed to cough. And they have lived here ever since. Now this house's furnishings have been updated a couple times since then, and but this is the way the house looks today. This is their kitchen area, and their dining, and usually this house has a little chair sitting right here, but because of this, they expanded their kitchen to have more kitchen space. Parnell and William wanted more kitchen space. They don't have a living room in this area. So upstairs in this house, now these are the houses that the Minecolonies has the builders themselves build the houses. And I've done some furnishings and renovations to the houses. For instance, changing the bed colors, the colors of the bed linens, or changing, absolutely adding the crayfish furniture, which you can see here. Um, when this house was done, this is one of the older houses. That's right. And when this house was originally done, there was no closet here. You'll see in later versions of this house that there's a beautiful closet right here on this. But because there wasn't, we just put the desk and the books in that area, which makes this a very pretty room. And this is Parnell and William's main room. This house was not brought up to the level 5. All the houses have levels, and it allows you to have different versions of the houses because of that. And so this house is probably a level, well, I can go down and check. Let me go down and tell you, because I can check from the hut block right here that this is a level 3. And a level 3 gives this house an attic bedroom, which was all that was needed here, because they only had one child come in, and that was Maureen, who is now grown up to be Commander Maureen. But this was her bedroom, and so it's still here because the Parnell, that's her first name, Parnell and William have kept her bedroom that way. But they put a living area up here for themselves near this opening of the fireplace, so that because the downstairs is their kitchen and dining area. And so this is the house that the house that Alex built, the very first house that he built after Curtis's house. And this house has been here like this pretty much ever since. Now, the Taiga house came down when one of Lance's chickens is loose. The Taiga house came down when Alex wanted to build a house for his new chosen. When he left, when I shouldn't say he left, when Fortune and Alex parted, because it was mutual, and he and Alex and Beatrice got together. Alex built this house for Beatrice, and this is a wooden house. We'll go in. This is the level 5, but this is an older version of this level 5 house. And I have done a couple things. We use chisel to make the wood floor, give it a jungle wood floor, and of course Crayfish's furniture. But this is originally the way this house was set up, where the stairs were over in this corner, and then it had this smaller area, kitchen area, this smaller room area right here, which I made into the kitchen. And this was always a small house. It still is in the modern version, Minecolonies version of this house, the current mod Minecolonies version of this house. This is still a 1-bedroom. Actually, this is a 2-bedroom house in the newest one. But it was only a 1-bedroom house at the time that this was a level 5. So this is actually an antique, this house. And this balcony here that they have. Now, I changed the shutters on the house, the outdoor shutters, to give the house a different look, because I didn't want the house to have the same look. I'm looking at these jungle doors right now, and I probably would change this door now and give them the acacia door. But I'm just going to leave it for now because this is a tour. Maybe I'll see it later. It's been a while since I've been in this house, so it's kind of fun to see that this is one of the older houses and is really cool. Now, I made the shutters over this window closed because this house ended up being very close to William and Parnell's house, but was the site of the Taiga house, and so it remained here. The next houses that were built were actually built in the Mesa. I see you. I see you. When the animals get into the city, usually I take them back, but I'm going to let him. He's going to roam the city for a while. So this was what's missing from this spot is Alex's builder's hut. He recently moved to the bayfront, and from here, I'm going to go to the ship and sleep because I can show you from this ship his new builder's hut. And there goes Curtis. He's going off to bed. And if we go to the front of, if we go up here, I should be able to see it from right here. Yes, that far building, that tall building there is now Alex's builder's hut right there, but it originally was right next to the warehouse because everything was pretty centrally located in the beginning. I'm going to go to sleep here. Since I'm here, we'll go to sleep. And there we go. And then I am going up. So continuing, so Alex used to have his builder's hut right here. Alex was right here, and his builder's hut sat right here, and this used to be Jacob's builder's hut, but now it's Madison's. And down here on the other side of City Hall was Diana's builder's hut. And Diana's builder's hut was made out of mesa, and this was definitely the desert area. And so we decided to do mesa homes, and we originally did 3 of the exact same mesa home, except they were level. This was a level 5. This used to be a level 4, and then this used to be a level 3 mesa house, but this one was torn down to make a different house here, which we'll talk about later. But this house is the next oldest house, and this mesa house has been recently updated to have the window boxes removed from the house. I never really liked them. They were made with sandstone stairs, and they were okay. They just looked extremely rough against the clay, the smooth terracotta. This house was one of the very first houses to take advantage of crayfish and chisel, and to have the house updated. Just recently, this new staircase was put in for the house when we were getting rid of this. I will show you. These stairs right here, these are stairs, and these used to be the stairs in this house, and they were also turned upside down and used to be the window boxes in this house, and they were removed just recently by Haley and Carter. Haley and Carter now own this house. This house used to be Diana's house. This was the very first one built, and is pretty close to the way the house originally looks. Um, as far as the size of the house, the inside of the house. Now, Diana decided to have more of a kitchen in this area, and so she has kitchen on both sides, and then dining right here, and then the little space, tiny space here for the living room. They still have chisel bookcases for when we didn't have Chroma Hills, and they kept their chisel bookcases. Chisel made it possible to have different kinds of bookcases. And then they have a concrete floor which went along with their furnishings up here. And these new andesite window fittings came in as a part of getting rid of the sandstone, the red sandstone fittings, and then their balcony and their balcony door. This is Chroma Hills, which has these terracotta pictures, images for the terracotta, which I really love. They're difficult to put in, but I love them. We added a little sun skylight on their deck. But this is the size of the original decks, and this is pretty much the way they looked. I think I moved this table. I think this table, actually, there were two tables, or one on this deck, I believe. But that is the way this looks now. This is the original glass, which in Chroma Hills looks like this is the cut glass, and Crayfish Furniture. And we changed the doors. I believe we changed the doors. I'll have to check and see. We added the stone around the house as a part of doing work on these. Since I'm here, I'll show you the other Misa house that still exists here, and that this house now belongs to Martha and Janet. No, Martha and Jane. Yes, because Martha and Jane decided to get a house together because they are the chosen, their chosens are military. And so right now, Jane is living in one of the stone apartments. She moved out because Elias's tower was being worked on, and while it was being worked on, he went to teach at the ranger school, and because he's teaching at the school, he needed to live at home. So he came home to live, and they live here. This is Dorothy's apartment upstairs, and this is Jane's apartment downstairs. When Jane's, we removed the beds from the downstairs apartment, so Jane, and the couch is usually a pull-out couch that they use when Nicholas comes home. Nicholas, Jane's chosen. Because they are Marines, Dorothy and Jane usually end up alone at night, and they talked about it with each other, and they decided that they would rent a house together or buy a house together, so that they could actually not be alone. They would have each other when their chosens were not coming home. So this is the way their porch deck looks. And the house originally belonged to Rebecca and Agnes. And Rebecca and Agnes moved from this house into the most beautiful, um, absolutely the most beautiful apartments. It was really amazing when these apartments were built. These are the Acacia apartments. I've done virtually nothing to them. So these apartments right now are in their original version. You will see in my other cities that these apartments have been modified. Um, Reynold is our delivery person, but he's on vacation, and that's why he is asking for something. And Rebecca is our other delivery person, and she is going to be in the new post office when it gets built. But everyone's in there, and there's Agnes who's waiting for her new bakery to be done. And so they're having a little apartment meeting. But this, yes, you are. And there's Linda. They're actually having a little meeting or a little party in this apartment. So there's Rebecca, there's Linda, and there is Agnes. And they all live here in separate apartments. This is one of the apartments, and this apartment has all its original vanilla lighting and furnishings. And so this is the ground floor apartment. This is the other ground floor apartment right here with all its original furnishings and lighting. And I loved these houses because they actually had these little balconies. This is the design by Minecolonies, and they're just absolutely beautiful. So I love these, and we have them in each city. Omo has one. This is Omo's. The city of New Mombasa has two of them. Has one. The city of New Masekwe actually has two of these apartment buildings. So that's the apartment building that Agnes and Rebecca moved into when they moved out of this house, and it went to Dorothy and Jane. And Rebecca and Agnes were actually singles who were living in together in a house, just not to be lonely. Some people don't like being lonely. The third set of housing that was started was dark oak housing, started back here in this area because of the university started to be built, and we wanted some housing back in this area. So these houses are the next two oldest houses in the city, and I am going to have to go to sleep just so that I don't disturb them. Now, I have a choice here. I can actually go into here and sleep in this bed because there's an extra bed in the Ranger Tower in here. So I'm going to sleep here. This is Solomon's Ranger Tower, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's David. David is the ranger and Solomon is the knight. And that's his knight's tower right there. But this is the next oldest of the houses. This is Jackson, and you see Jackson and Savannah going off to work. Jackson is the master at arms, the professor of combat at the Combat Academy, and Savannah owns the university restaurant, and this is their house. And yes, it is. Now, Susanna and Jackson raised their kids in this house, and it's pretty amazing because this house has had nothing done to it except adding chairs around the table. They still have the original vanilla Minecolonies lighting. I'm appalled that they still have the original lighting in this part of their house. Now, this part of their house has probably been something done to it, but no, nothing has been done. Wow, I had totally forgotten. So this is the original dark oak house the way it used to look. And this is going to come be important because we have this dark oak house in my other cities later on, and Minecolonies changed this house and took away this double bed, which I was very disappointed with them for doing that. But, and I don't have many disappointments with Minecolonies. I love Minecolonies. I love Minecolonies. It is my dream come true as far as Minecraft is concerned, because it is all about the villagers, all about the colonists. And this is the original bedroom. Now, when they raised their kids here, I think there were extra beds added to this room, but those beds were removed when everyone had moved out, except Jade. Jade was one of the last of the kids to be here. They have, I think they have 3 kids. But Jade was the last. Oswin was the youngest, but he moved out, and Betty moved out when she started her own business and met Nolan. And Oswin moved out when he started his own desert farm. So the next oldest house is, where is it? Is it this one right here? Yes. This is William and Hazel's house. And this house right here, we built these stairs for them to get up to their house. And their house has been actually modified because it has, because this was around the beginning of the time when I started modifying these houses. So it looks like that's interesting. So they have, as you can see, some of the older lighting. I don't use these lights, this ceiling light in houses anymore. It's too industrial looking. When this house was done before Chroma Hills, and this is why the ceiling has this tiled wool. In Chroma Hills, this wool is not, in Chroma Hills, the wool is tiled, this solid, and so I don't use it much for ceilings anymore. And it has chisel flooring, which I don't use as much anymore also, but they have it because of when they had the modify, when this house was updated. And here is an update of this house where they were given furniture and carpeting and lights. This light is on, yes. And so, and a piece of artwork on the wall there. And so this is what this master bedroom looks like in this house. And then, this part was changed to give them a little bit more protection, first of all, because during the time of these houses we did have invasions, so some of this was changed for them. Now there was a painting here, and I haven't been here in so long I didn't realize that it was changed to Pots by Chroma Hills. There was a painting on the wall, and in Chroma Hills this painting is Pots. I love it. That's amazing. So I'll have to come back here and fix that painting. But they were given an additional bed up here for as a guest bedroom. This is now a guest bedroom in Hazel and Elizabeth's house. Their kids have long gone. Um, Hazel's kids, I would have to. I haven't thought about Hazel's kids in so long. I don't even remember their names right now. I have 80 people here. So, but I was trying to see if I would see, but nope, I don't see the kids' names. I'll go through the children one of these Sunday City Sundays, but right now we're just doing housing. So the next houses that were built span out from these sets. I would say that the next houses were built for the Marines. And the Marines needed some place to stay, so we started building apartments for them. These apartments were the first apartments built. Nothing has been done to them, these houses at all, these apartments. Just recently, the level one of this apartment building was so this is the level one of those buildings that you see over here, and I'll show you. This is level one. This looks like it's a level 4. This is a level 4, and this is a level 3. Now these these apartments weren't brought up to the full level 5 because it makes a city apartment building, and I wanted these decks on these apartments, and so that's why they are only at the lower levels. I didn't really need them to be higher. This is the level 1, and I wanted to keep this little park, this little deck, little yard area. It's not a deck, it's actually just a yard area that this house had. But this house has recently been completely redone for Noah, who is our blacksmith. It is the first upgrade that furnishing of one of these stone apartments that I've done in Omo, and there is Noah right now in his house. Noah is a blacksmith, and blacksmiths look like dwarves in Minecolonies. And so this is his house right here. And which reminds me, and that's interesting, that I think means that I am going to have a female blacksmith in Minecolony, New Masekwe, because I don't have one in any of my cities. So I would like to see the female of the blacksmith. But that is the original, well, obviously that isn't. But these are the originals of this. This is a level 3, which gives you these 2 apartments which don't change, these 2 bottom apartments here. Now I took out the bed in this apartment because I wanted the people who live here, and who lives here now, I wanted Callum to go to one of the other apartments to live. I thought I was going to start upgrading, but see, this one's also empty. So Callum is the only one living in this apartment right now, and the rest of them are empty, and this is his. And I gave him a double bed. There's only one bed, a single bed in these apartments. So I just gave him a double bed because he's been living here for a long time. But as you can see, it's still made out of the original stone. And as you know, if you follow me on Twitch and Mixer, this mold on the inside of the apartment is something I usually get rid of. So you know I've done nothing with this apartment. I'm going to stay here and sleep on the deck for a minute. It's going to be night and people are going to start coming home, and I don't want to interrupt them while they are sleeping. So we will go to sleep and wake up the next day, and we'll go over to this apartment building and let's see who's living here. This apartment building is, Noah is the only one, so this apartment's empty right now, as well as this apartment is probably empty. Yeah. And I did this to get them to go upstairs and use the upstairs apartments, which have more room and had the bedrooms had room for double beds, much more room for double beds and things like that. Since Callum and Noah Wilson, the lumberjack, are the only ones living here, I'll probably come back during the week maybe and see about doing something with their apartments and giving them a little bit more. Now, when just recently, and by recently I mean probably before the next generation, the next iteration of mods, I don't know how to say it, when the mod was updated. Right. The mod was updated. This is April, and the mod was updated last in February or March, I think. But I've discovered that the Minecolonies mod, they can change things in the mod while without you getting an update. So this is a level 1 of Parnell and Williams' house, but this house has recently been completely updated. We had to make a change because some update in Minecolonies caused the villagers, the colonists, they're not villagers, the colonists to have trouble with ladders. So we had to do a little bit of stuff to try and get Diana to be able to use her ladder. We had originally put in a temporary stair because she was having so much trouble. She was trapped upstairs in her house. So, but that's all been fixed. I figured out that putting stair on the sides of the ladders actually makes it easier for them to get up and down the ladders. So, so since we were in her house, we noticed that she didn't have any modern things, and so her house has recently been updated. Her fireplace right here, and giving her much more of a living room and dining room area downstairs, with kitchen right behind it here. And she likes using this back door as her regular door to go out of. And because I love the loft, I did not want to make this house I did not want to upgrade this house. I wanted to keep the loft. But there's one thing definite about this house, and that is that, wow, time flies. And that is that this house, I thought I could do this in like an hour to show you all of Omo's buildings in an hour. The housing tour, but I'm not getting anywhere near it. So we're going to have to look at housing, the rest of the housing, next time we come in to Omo, which will be next Sunday, City Sundays. Now, if you want to see me do this on a regular basis, on Monday, it's probably working out for Omo that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. No, that doesn't make sense. I do my cities during the week on Twitch and on Omo. Yes, that does work out. So Mondays and Thursdays I'm in Omo, and that is when I do it. And I do it in the mornings on Twitch and in the afternoons on Mixer. So whichever one you have an account for, You can watch me work on these cities, but we will come back and look at the rest of the housing. We'll start with Fortune's house next time and show you one of the very first upgraded houses that I did. Was actually Fortune's, and we'll do that the next time we're in. I might remember that between now and next Sunday. So later on today, I'm going to do New Mombasa and New Masekwe. New Mombasa first, so look out for that and enjoy your games. This is so fun for me. I love being able to design in here, and I really appreciate all the developers who have worked to make this the fun that it is. So enjoy watching all the other gamers. And I'm going to say goodbye in chat, but and merci beaucoup. So thanks for watching, and merci beaucoup. And thanks to my constant viewer. Enjoy watching all the other streamers. Bye for now. Bye for now.